Okay guys, so in this video we are going to talk about supporting removing a row, so let's get into it. Exciting stuff. Alright, so here is our row, and you can see here I can refresh this, and here is a little row, and if I press add key I can add another one and just add some arbitrary data, and yes, it's added as a row. And I have this magical little button and I click that and it's gone. Refresh, it's gone, never to be seen again. So let's look at the code. That's about as exciting as this is gonna get. So our translation meta bar, which is this component here, is updated. As you can see here, we have a few new methods. So I have added a dependency to our context, and as you can see here, I'm wrapping our little export here with the translation, well, the with app context function that is going to just spit out that higher order component. And as you can see here, I've updated an input here now, so we actually have a translation ID, which is great, and I've added a default constructor, which is going to, well, a constructor anywho, and it's going to take or declare remove translation, which is just this little function that we will have here, which I've added a on-click handler for. And this is our function. So it's going to call, well, it's an async function. It's going to call delete translation. I hope you can probably imagine what type of function that is, but it's going to do a network call, and then we're going to get all the translations, and then we are going to set those translations again, and that is our entire feature. And on the translation row, I've added the translation ID as well, so while I'm passing into the translation meta bar the translations ID here. Cool, and here is our delete translation function, which basically just takes in a translation ID and returns a void promise, because we don't really care about the response of this. We just want to make sure that everything works, which we're gonna do because we're just considering the happy path here. So on the server side of things, I thought we'll try just using the diff of Visual Studio Code here. The color schemes isn't as nice as I would like, but we can live with that, I hope. So I've added this section here called for delete with the annotation delete mapping, so that a delete request, and it's just going to come in here, and this is the URL we're going to hit, and here I extract out the translation ID, and we're going to return a response entity of void, which is basically just, well, it's Spring Boot talk for return a JSON response without anything in it. So I see here that I've made a little bit of a mistake. Let's go and fix that immediately. It's not supposed to be list translations. It's going to be delete translation. That's what we want. That's what we want. And then we are at, well, basically we annotated with path variable, which is going to be a long of this translation ID here. And then we have our injected service, and we're just going to delete that translation. And we then return like the new response entity with a status of accepted. That's our entire feature. Ta-da! And, oh yeah, I forgot, since I'm not in... or actually it did. Ah, cool. It actually did take care of the update. Well, that's nice. Anywho, the delete translation method here is just going to, as you can imagine, like repo.delete by ID, which is like, this is just the repo as we've seen in the previous video. It's just a generated interface, or an interface that I declare, and the actual implementation is generated at runtime, or at compilation time, and injected correctly. So it's just going to delete by ID, and that is all there is to it. So we can pretty much call that done now. So let's put that over here. There we are. So in the next video we are going to support searching for translations. I'm thinking we're going to do something like, oh, you're going to type something nice in here, and then we're going to filter our list of rows here based on something. But that is for the next video.